Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a bar cookie, sort of like an experiment. It is a, well, you know the Snowball cookies from Christmas, the little round balls with the powdered sugar on them? It's going to be that recipe, but I'm going to be adding stuff to it and I'm going to turn it into a bar cookie. So if you're interested in this, stay tuned. So what I have here is I have 1 cup, 2 sticks of butter in my mixing bowl, softened at room temperature. I have 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. I have 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, but you can use imitation if you want. I just had some pure left over from the holidays, so that's what I'll be using. 2 1/4 cup of flour. Salt is optional. I am using regular salted butter, and the recipe calls for unsalted butter. And with the unsalted butter, you'll want about 1/8 teaspoon of salt, but I'm using salted butter, so I'm going to omit the salt. And what I'm going to be adding to this to make it, I don't know, taste better is I've got some maraschino cherries here that I used my kitchen scissors and I basically minced them. This is probably about 15 or 16 cherries, maybe 1/4 cup, somewhere around in there. And then I drizzled in about 1 teaspoon of the cherry juice. I was looking for cherry extract in the store and couldn't find it, so I'm just going to use the cherry juice. And I have, this is a 3/4 measuring cup, but there's only about 1/4 cup of very fine chopped walnuts. And I have some milk chocolate chips. I'll be using, I don't know if I'm going to use the whole bag or half a bag yet. So anyways, that's what I have for my ingredients. So first of all, I'm going to beat this butter for about a minute on low. Oh yeah, first of all, you want to set your oven temp to 350 to get your oven going. Okay, and then I have for my baking dish, I don't know what pan I'm going to use yet. This is about 8 inches this way and 12 inches this way. And this pan is about an 8.5 by 8.5. So I'm going to see how much dough I end up with first before deciding what pan I'm going to use. Once I see how much dough is here, then I'll use some kitchen or some cooking spray and spray the pan I'm going to use. So I don't really know. It's going to be one of those pans. So I'm going to tilt the camera down and show you guys. I'm going to beat this butter. I'm going to buff it up 1. Now I'm going to add my 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. I'm going to start out on low so I don't blow powder all over the place and then turn it up. And we're going to get all of this sugar mixed in until it's creamy. I'm going to bump this up to about medium now. Okay, I'm going to scrape the bowl with my little scraper here. And I'm going to go back in and mix this again. All right, that was mixed for a couple minutes. Now I'm going to add my 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm going to drizzle in some of the cherry juice. I should have separated this when I was measuring it out, but that's part of the experiment. I'm going to scrape the bowl down. Make sure it gets all mixed in. Right. All right, I'm going to take about half of the flour and put in here. Yes. Okay. I'm going to put my cherries in and the last of the flour. I'm going to mix this until it is all incorporated into a dough. I'm going to push the dough out of my beaters, scrape the bowl, and then just run the beaters back through the dough one more time to make sure it's all mixed in. Now I'm going to taste the dough. It doesn't really have too much of a cherry taste, but it does taste really good. So I think I'm going to use my small pan. Now the recipe says to refrigerate this dough for 30 minutes because you're supposed to roll it in balls and bake them individually. But I want the dough to be like this so I can spread it easier in the pan. So I'm going to skip the refrigeration part. I don't really taste the cherry in the dough though, but it's still good. Put this in my pan. I'm going to spread it out into my pan. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. This is the first time I'm doing it this way. It just sounded so good. I like cherries and chocolate. The dough does not taste like cherry, so if you can find some cherry extract, I recommend putting some of that in with your vanilla, but the store that I was at did not have cherry. And I probably could have added more cherries to the dough, or at least more cherry juice, but I don't think it would have given it a cherry flavor. If you wanted to make a bigger pan, I would suggest doubling the recipe. But I'm glad it only made a small pan because I think I'm going to be the only one at home that eats this, and I don't need all of this. And it's just an experiment, so if it doesn't work out, then it's not that big of a waste. I'm sure I'll still eat it. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to start with 10 minutes. If they were rolled in balls, it would be 15 minutes. It would be 15 minutes until they're golden brown. But this is thinner than what the cookies would be. So I'm going to put this in for about 10 minutes at 350. Okay, after 10 minutes, they were still pretty wet and doughy looking, so I went ahead and extended the time another 5 minutes. So they're 32 seconds left, and they're ready to come out of the oven. So I think they'll be done now. So what I'm going to do when they come out and they're still hot is I'm going to put some of these chocolate chips on top. And since it's a smaller pan, I'll probably do half or so, maybe a cup, 3/4 cup, something like that. And then pop it back in the oven for maybe 30 or 40 seconds just to get these to slightly start melting. And then top them off with some walnuts. And if you don't want walnuts, that's fine. They're ready to come out. You can also use sprinkles. So let's get these out of the oven and check them out. I think I'm going to put them back in the oven. I think I'm going to put them back in the oven for another minute because offset. Notice how when I press, they're still pretty doughy. So I'm going to put them back in for another minute. All right. So yeah, so when they come out of the oven, my hair is all messy. When they come back out of the oven, I'm going to put the chocolate chips on them, part of the bag, and then pop them back in the oven until the chips kind of melt a little bit, pull them out, spread the chocolate chips on like a frosting. While that's still wet, then I will sprinkle my finely chopped walnuts on top. If you don't want to use walnuts, that's fine. You can also use sprinkles to make them look pretty, or you don't need to sprinkle anything on them. So it smells really good in here. I don't really smell the cherry, and I didn't really taste cherry in the dough either. But the dough's pink, and it's got specks of cherries in it. So it's still chocolate cherry, but if I were to make these again, I would probably add more cherry. And if I could find some cherry extract, definitely need some cherry extract if you want them to taste like cherry. So far, in my opinion, that's just going from what I tasted in the dough, but let's see what they taste like once they're all finished. This is just an experiment, but it just sounded really good. Seconds. I'm going to stop the timer. Okay, let's check them out. Should I put them in longer? I think I'm going to give them another 5 minutes. I just don't think that they're done yet. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. So far, they've been in the oven a total of 20 minutes. So let's check them out now. Yeah, they're a little bit more firmer on top, and they're starting to get a little golden brown. They smell wonderful. So now what I'm going to do, I may not even need to put them back in the oven. I'm going to sprinkle some of these chocolate chips on here, and with my offset, I'm going to spread them on. May not need to put them in the oven, but I'm going to leave the oven on just in case. I'm going to pop these back in the oven for just a few minutes, a few seconds. All right. See how they're looking a little wet? That's what you want, so they will spread easily, like a frosting. Oh, yeah. They are spreading really nice. So that was maybe 30 seconds to a minute. I definitely would not leave them in longer. This is a step that you want to be right next to the oven because it doesn't take long at all for these to melt. You can use the whole package of chips if you want. I just didn't want that thick of a layer of chocolate on top. These are going to be amazing. I just know it. All right. That chocolate is almost liquid. They got so melted. Hey, and you can leave them just like this. Or you can put sprinkles on them. I'm going to put the walnuts on mine. I'm just going to sprinkle. I may not even use all of them. All right. That's good. I didn't even use them all. Well, I only have like that much left, so I'm going to use them all. All right. Look really good, and I can't wait to try them. Cherry or no cherry flavor. Anyway, I'm going to pause this video, and I will be back once they've cooled. Smells great, and I want to give these a try. So, might fall apart when I'm trying to cut one out of here, but I'm going to give these a try. And I'm just going to cut. Look, oh, I almost lost it. Look at that. Yum. Stitches even here, but it's got chocolate on it, so. I can't have him taste. It feels really soft. I'm trying to pick it up without breaking it, but you can see it's golden brown on the bottom, nice and yum on top. The chocolate is still melted because it's still warm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, this is really, really good. It doesn't have a cherry flavoring in it. I wish I could have found some cherry extract. But even though you can't taste the cherry, the maraschino cherries are chopped small enough for this. Um, but it's delicious the way it is. With these nuts on it. Mm, 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 mm. Very very good texture. Thick. Kind of like a thick texture. Like the Snowball cookies have. It is very fragile. This piece just broke off. Mm, but it's so delicious. The only sweetness I taste is from the chocolate. But there is a buttery taste in the cookie part. So it does need the chocolate or the powdered sugar if you were to roll them in balls and put the powdered sugar on them like the Snowball cookie would be. But these are delicious. I don't know why. If you were to make these into snowballs, you would refrigerate the dough for 30 minutes and then roll them into balls and bake them, and they would bake for 15 minutes. I did not refrigerate this. I just put it in the pan and baked it, and for some reason it took 20 minutes. But it was worth the wait. This is really, really good. Mm, 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 mm. This is not going to last. Not around me. Mm-mm. It is not going to last. Mm. So, that's all I have for today. Very delicious. This would go good with coffee in the morning or tea or anything. It is delicious. Good experiment. I'm going to keep this recipe for next time when I want to make something like this again. If I don't want to roll the balls out. Really, really good. Anyway, I hope you made some little bar cookies with me today. And if you didn't, I hope you try later. Now that you know that I've told you they taste good, because they really, really do. And I will see you next time back here on Survive with What You Know for more goodies. Have a good day. Bye.